Just wanted to first of all give this disclaimer that I am not a politician by any means. I am new to Texas. I want to definitely make sure you know that. Has been a major transition and adjustment for me. I find, especially, unfortunately, I had to end up in the court system for filing a civil claim against a landlord. And it's been super challenging just getting heard. I filed a claim, yet I'm not getting a chance to present the case. It's just the most craziest thing I've ever experienced in my entire life. If you are someone who's ever seen anything like Judge Judy or the People's Court or just even witnessed a live trial, I mean, like you can go online and there's tons of live trials that you can watch because judges are streaming them. And let me make sure I emphasize judges with integrity are streaming them. So I have not been given the opportunity to present something that's very important. I won't get into the details of my case. I will just tell you that because of the experience I've had, I am now motivated to help others. So this is where this video is coming from, is to help you, because maybe you're like me and you're just relocating to this area, and things are extremely different. Okay, so I don't want you to feel like you left planet you left Earth and you went somewhere else that's unknown to mankind. However, you may feel that way because I'm in that type of twilight zone myself right now, going through my process. I debated about sharing more details about my own experience, and I may do that when the proceedings are at a place where I feel comfortable doing that. But right now, it's been HELL, just trying to get the process really started. I can't even explain to you how difficult they make it for a pro se litigant, which is someone who is representing themselves. So they're very pro attorney here. In fact, I found a map that actually dissects which areas are for plaintiffs, for pro se, and which ones are for attorneys, which is the most craziest thing I've ever seen. But so in this county, Collin County, you are like me, you're outnumbered. So I just want to paint the realistic picture that it's not really about justice, and I want other people chime in, share your experience too. Use the notes, comments to do that. You can even send a message to me directly if you don't want to make your comments public. I'm just curious to know the other experience because I've reviewed tons of cases and tons of them have pointed to a similar experience, and I'm just so not understanding why citizens haven't spoken up about this. There's a lot more of us than it is of anyone in the county in terms of employees or judges or whatever. So you have to use your voice if you want to make a difference. Sorry, I have my music playing on Pandora and now they went to a commercial and it's kind of loud. But so you have to use your voice, and most of these JPs, Justice of the Peace, will actually expire in terms of the end of December of 2022. So this is where you need to make a difference, okay? The first thing, just look at it. What does a picture tell you when you look at it? Like a picture speaks volumes. I don't even have to say anything, right? This is Justice of the Peace for this Collin County. There's a gender that's missing. There's races that are missing. I'm not too sure what to say about this. Now, Raleigh, Raleeh, I'm not too sure what type of last name that is. But in terms of ethnicity. So there might be one person representing some type of diversity there. I'm not sure. It's pretty standard. Okay, so I know this is what you're probably going to see in a lot of states across America, but when I look at this area, I mean, you tell me what's the demographics here. I'm not even sure if I have time to pull them up, but I know the demographics are not being represented in this. Here is probably going to go up here, in this picture at all. Oh gosh, my whole thing just went over there. So I just wanted to say, first of all, let your voice count. You know, when it's time to vote, if there is an opportunity to make this a little bit more diverse, can you do that? The number, I'm going to pull it up on my phone here because I meant to pull up the demographics for, let's just do Frisco, so is not represented. And I know that there's individuals who have the background here, and I will admit that in this area is definitely not the type of number of attorneys that I'm used to seeing, and I understand why. After I have reviewed the rules and stuff that make up the law for Texas, the laws and rules, I can understand why an attorney wouldn't necessarily, why someone wouldn't necessarily want to be an attorney here. It's a complicated platform, and for me, just from experiencing across America, I can definitely say it is not made to help the little man. It's not made to help the citizens. It's made to help the rich businessman. I'm just being honest with you, and usually the rich businessman is usually white, and I'm just being straightforward, okay? And there isn't anything wrong with anyone's accomplishments. I'm definitely not saying that. But I think it's sad when there are rules and laws that are catered towards a specific segment instead of just making it about fairness for everyone. Fairness for everyone, because when you go through the process, if you're just starting it or if you're in it, you can probably attest to this just doesn't seem right. You know, it doesn't seem like it's going to be any type of fair opportunity for me. And the attitude also, the judges, is just so off. It's like, isn't this supposed to be about you being neutral and focus on just providing a fair resolution? Why is it that you're favoring the attorney? So I want you to be mindful of that. I don't want you to get your feelings hurt when you go through this process. If it is a situation that you can resolve outside of going using the Justice of Peace, I'm going to highly recommend it. Justice of Peace, in my opinion, is a waste of time. They are more set up. This is my opinion, okay? It's either they're set up, number one, either one of these, really to just be mediators and try and resolve issues before it needs to go to the court system. Okay, that's me being optimistic, okay? The pessimistic side of it is either they're set up to be the part of the cash flow for the court system, because if you don't win in your Justice of Peace case, then you have to, then if you decide to appeal, guess what? You got to leave a bond. And the bond is like $500 or so. And when I heard that, I'm like, bond, when I think of a bond payment, I'm thinking of criminals, not people who are filing civil claims. And so I was quite shocked to hear that I would need to leave a bond to appeal. And that is something you have to do just to get to the higher court. And I don't like it. I don't like that process, but that's what you have to do. So it's better. Now, some people are like drawn in because the Justice of Peace is less expensive. You know, for a couple $100, you could have your issue resolved, something like that. But to go and file initially with the county, I believe they're like, I'm just going to say 250 or 300, something like that. It's better to just start there, and then if you have to appeal, go to the Court of Appeals, because that same $500 that you would have used just to get from the Justice of the Peace, just to get to the county or the district court, you could use that same $500 to go to the Court of Appeals. So it's better to start at the Court of Appeals. Start with the county or the district, pay their $250 or $300 fee, whatever it is. Hopefully win your case. If you don't win your case, then appeal to the appeals, um, the appeals court. That would be your next step, and you pay the $500 there. I would prefer to have you do that than have to do this whole bond thing, which is a pain in the butt. It really is, because you have to go back over to the precinct to pay it and fill out these forms and stuff. And it's time consuming, and then you have to do, unfortunately, some of the clerks aren't the best personalities, and so just the extra stress that you have to have is not worth it in the end. And plus, you don't want to have that justice of the peace to have a motive not to have your case win. Like they find something little and then you don't win because they're trying to cash flow it. So I definitely would say start with the county or the district, and then if you don't win, go to the appeals court. So that's my recommendation, and I highly recommend that. I will put my money on it anytime. In fact, if you decide to go to Justice of Peace, let me know, and I'll bet you, I'll actually put a wager about your experience. I will do it. Yes, I will. So I just wanted to show you. So the county is basically the judges. Oh, the other thing I didn't mention is for the Justice of the Peace, they do not require them to have a law degree. I believe it's just like a high school education, and I think that's it. And they have to be a citizen for at least a year of Texas. That's the requirement. You're lucky if you get someone, but then again, because of the whole mindset, think of the mindset that must have to be in place if you don't have to have a law degree. What are you trying to resolve if you don't need to know the law? You're a mediator, right? And mediators most likely are probably going to be less expensive, they may be, than the Justice of Peace, and you won't have to go through a big headache to get to the next level, right? Because you'll try the mediator doesn't work, and then you go to the county or district. If you go to the Justice of Peace and it doesn't work, the only way you can go to the next level is to pay a $500 bond. That's for some cases. Some people have to leave like a percentage of like rent and stuff, so just read up. I'm going to emphasize that as a pro se litigant. Read up before you do anything. Reach out to me. I'll tell you everything that I've learned. I learned a lot going through this process. It's so time consuming. It's interfering with other stuff I need to do. So that is my spiel on this. Take it for what it's worth. I'm not really here to debate with anyone. I'm actually here to help you. So just be careful. So that's just as a piece. And then I want to tell you, so this is just an example of the judges that are for Collin County at the court level. At the county court level. I wasn't able to get the district level, but the county court level are these judges, these four in front of you. So I want you to be mindful. Once again, we have a situation about diversity. But the good thing is that you do see at least a female now. So that's a good thing. So the district versus the county is based on the highest level that you're asking for. If you're asking for up to $250, then it would be the county. If it's more than that, then it's going to be the district. So just be careful of that. The other thing I want to emphasize to you, just because you can see this. Now keep in mind that this area here in Frisco is a lot of Hispanic. I would say 50% Hispanic, 12% Black. I'm just throwing out a number. And, and then white. And then you have Asian. I would say a good percentage of Asian, let's say 6%. So that emphasizes the fact that there isn't any diversity. So that probably will give you something to understand about the mindset here. The other thing is be careful when you decide which way you're going to file, because it can really impact what you can do next. So make sure you understand that, because sometimes it's just you just want to resolve it and you're really not thinking about what's going to happen next. You have to think about that here, because otherwise you'll get stuck in their system and you can't get out of it. And that's another reason why I emphasize going to the county or the district first and forget about justice of peace, because once again, they don't have to have a legal background. They're more like mediators. And then if you get stuck in their system and you can't win, you have to appeal and at least, at a minimum, have a $500 bond to be able to go to the next level. So let me tell you, it's not friendly for the little people. It's all about the the white man. I'm just being honest. I hate saying stuff like that, but I love everybody, and I just want to say that I don't have any prejudice against anybody, but we have to know that in America there has been an issue, and that's we wouldn't have needed a social movement if there wasn't an issue. So it's just, and I'm not speaking just on one race needing a social movement. I mean everybody. Like every race needs to start being represented. So Asian, Hispanic, Black, and whites, whites, in my opinion, and I don't mean this in a mean way, but white people already have it made. So just keep that in mind and be careful, be safe, and make the right decision by doing research. Try not to let your emotions get the best of you. If you really can get with an attorney, then I recommend it, because Texas is not your friend at all if you're by yourself, if you're a pro se. It's not. They do not want pro ses to win. They're against you the moment you file. And I'm just being honest. And so once again, please share the feedback that you have, and I look forward to it.